guys, it's Steven
and Tristan,
and we are Practical Family Projects, where we aim to help you tackle those indoor, outdoor, home DIY
and craft projects.
Hey, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and as always, the products that we use in our videos will be linked down in the description below.
Hey Dad, I have a joke.
You have another joke?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
The patient said I broke my leg in 4 places. What did the doctor say?
I don't know. What did the doctor say?
Then don't go back to any of those 4.
Any of those 4 places,
Yeah.
so that you don't break your leg in 4 places?
Yeah.
That was a good one. Hey, let's get to the project. Hey, in this video, we're swapping out Mom's toilet. So this toilet is the original toilet that was in this house when we moved in here. So I was a kid. I was 5 years old when we bought this house. And so we are finally upgrading Mom's toilet in the spare bathroom. It is long overdue. I don't even know if it works anymore. All right, some tools you might need for this project. And I say might, it just depends on the different situations that you have going on. So you might need a trash bag to catch the bottom of the toilet when we remove it, just to get the water. You might need a saw, flat tip screwdriver, a scraper, a pair of channel locks, a crescent wrench, and then a socket. Right here was a 1/2 inch, 9/16 and 7/16. So before you get started, the first thing you have to do is turn off the water to the toilet. So you can either turn off the water out by your meter, which is probably out by the street in the front of your house, or you can turn the water off at the valve at the toilet. So as you can see in the picture here, you can twist or turn the valve normally to the right to close the valve off, and that'll close the water off to the toilet. And once we do that, then we can disconnect the water from the toilet so that we can start with the replacement. All right, so let's see if we can get this loose just by hand. Sometimes it's not on there too tight. Don't tell Nana we made a mess. It's okay. We'll get some towels now. All right, so now that we have that done, under here, there are a couple nuts that keep the tank bolted down. Every toilet's just a little bit different. This is an older toilet, so these are steel nuts. And so we'll have to get a socket to unscrew that. Just feeling on it, I'm thinking 1/2 inch, maybe 9/16 for this one. All right, so we got our sockets. Let's see, this, I said 1/2 or 9/16. Let's see how close I was. So this is a 1/2. Let's see. I also got a 7/16. Let's see. Money, 1/2 inch. My dad taught me that. So you might have to get a screwdriver or something to hold the top in place, so it doesn't spin when you're loosening it up. So guys, you may run into the same issue where the bolts are just so old, they're just rusted together. And so we could sit here and keep messing with it and get them loose. The only reason we're doing that is to try to take the top tank off. If you're not able to lift the entire toilet at one time, that would be ideal, is to take the top tank off just so that it's not so heavy. But we're gonna go ahead and just leave those screws in. We'll leave the tank connected, and we're just gonna go ahead and pull the whole toilet. To pull the rest of the toilet, we need to pop this off. And we're gonna repeat this on the other side, but I'll show you this side. You need to pop that off, and you can see this is all rusted out too, so hopefully these come loose. And we'll need to unscrew these and pull this off, and then we'll be able to lift the toilet up completely. Now, remember guys, there's going to be water left in the toilet. You're not gonna be able to get it out. There's a little P-trap system back here, and without like tilting it and moving it, you're not gonna be able to get all the water out. So you got to be very careful. That's why we got the trash bags. We'll put a trash bag on the bottom, and we'll show that in just a second. You see that, guys? It's just spinning. The nut's not coming loose. This toilet is not gonna be reused. It's so old. So I think we're just gonna cut those screws off. We'll just get a saw and cut those off. All right, so ideally, If you wanted to take the tank off, you would have unscrewed those, but in our situation, they're rusted on, so we'll have to pull the whole toilet at once. And the other thing, ideally, is we would just unscrew these nuts off of this bolt, and then we could lift the toilet straight up. But because it's so old, because it's rusted on, we'll go to plan B, and plan B says get a saw and cut it off. So we're gonna repeat this on the other side. So the wife is helping, she's got the trash bag there, the little one is helping. So they got the trash bag there, we're gonna lift the toilet up and we're just gonna set it on the trash bag. And all we're doing with the trash bag is just trying to keep the water from getting all over the place. Alright, so now we got the toilet pulled, so we're just cleaning up now. We wiped up all the extra water, the mess. So one thing to note, normally there's a wax ring that's kind of still stuck on the ring here in the on the PVC, on the pipe. It might be PVC pipe or cast iron. And you want to scrape all that off because you're going to put a new wax ring on there. The wax ring with this one came off with the toilet. It was so old. So this is nice and clean. We're going to finish kind of cleaning up here, and then we'll be ready to start unpacking the new toilet. Now, one thing to note, when you put your new toilet on, depending on the size of the base, and you need to pay attention to that when you buy your new toilet, depending on the size of your base, it may or may not cover up your flooring edge. You might have to caulk it, or you might, if you have tile, you might need to add a couple of pieces of tile. When I'm doing tile, I always like to take my tile, you know, kind of around the ring here for that reason, so that you don't have to worry about if you ever replace your toilet later, that you're going to have an area where there's no flooring. Mom, Nana, is going to come and replace this flooring in this bathroom at some point. And so for now, we're just going to clean this edge up, and then we'll put the new toilet back on. Go. Delta Foundations. That's the Delta is the model. Foundation is the or Delta is the brand. Foundations is the model. Alright, so pay attention to what your toilet comes with. So we have the mounting bolts and plastic nuts, and then we have a wax ring. And the wax ring is going to go here, and that just creates a solid seal at the bottom. They make rubber rings, they make wax rings, they make different heights. If you have bigger tile, if you had big tile up here and this was lower, you might need to get the taller one. This one's going to work fine for this. If Nana or Mom ever changes the flooring out, then we may have to change this out, but we'll do that later if it ever needs to. So we'll put the wax ring on in just a second. Let's get these on first. And so look, you can see they're kind of an oval shape with a flat, so they should go in, and then you can twist them, and that's how they get stuck, kind of stuck in there. They hold themselves. And then you can put this crimp over the top of it. Or washer, it's a plastic washer. And that'll help hold it in place. And hold it up and push it down. And then make sure that's turned sideways. And put the wax ring on. So this can be kind of, I don't know, it's wax, guys, so it can get on your hands. So always try to stay. There's a little plastic in the middle. I just try to keep my hands on that. There you go. And you just want that to line up with your hole like that. And then when we set that on there, we'll be real gentle, and we'll just set it right down on there. All right, so now we're ready to set the toilet. We're gonna move this shot back out of the way. Kind of line up the hole. And then squish it down. You'll feel that wax start to just kind of spread around. You can already see the base of this commode. Let me zoom in here for you guys. So the base of this toilet does not cover up the flooring. So if this was the permanent flooring in this bathroom, we might have to rethink what we're doing. But because we're going to replace the flooring later, then this is going to be just fine for us for right now. I like that right there. Looks pretty straight. So we're going to put our little washers on top. I mean our nuts on top, little plastic nuts. And you want to be careful with these. You don't want to twist the bolt too much. Remember, we have it turned right down there. And what we're going to do is get that one tight and do this one, and we'll go back and forth, tighten, 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 tighten. And we're going to get a level and check that in just a second. All right, so let's check level, see how we look. Guys, if you're putting flooring down, definitely run a level over your flooring. If you're putting tile down around your commode or your toilet, just to make sure you got a pretty level spot so that the toilet sits pretty nice. Woo! It doesn't get much better than that right there when we're putting a toilet together. And that looks pretty good too. So I think we're good there. We're secure. It's not moving around. We can tighten these down just a little bit over on this side. And then we'll follow up here. And then maybe we can tighten this one now. A little bit. I like it. All right, so remember when on the last commode, the original, when we took it out, these were all rusted and they were off. So look, this is what we should have been able to do. We should have been able to unscrew those nuts, and then we would be able to pull the tank off, and we weren't able to do that because of the just how old it was. So we took those nuts off because these are going to slide on. We have our water connection here that will connect in a minute, and then we have our O-ring, our seal. This is going to seal to the toilet part of the commode. So you can see it's notched. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So an octagon, and it should fit right over this nut right here. Kind of get it lined up. There you go. We're lined up, and then that is going to sit right on the toilet. So what we're going to do is that O-ring should sit right here, nice and clean. The O-ring should sit right here, and the two bolts should slide right in there. We're going to take these nuts and we'll start tightening them down. So let's look at this, guys. Check this out. So you see the top of those bolts have a flathead, so you'll need to put a screwdriver here to keep it from twisting. So hold it here with the screwdriver. Sorry, thought it was in my pocket. We'll hold it here with the screwdriver, and you might need a longer screwdriver like this one, and then you'll be able to tighten the nuts up on the bottom. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, now we're ready to hook up the water. All right, so you may or may not run into this issue. This is an older house. You can see back in the day, they used to hard pipe the water from the water valve to the commode or to the toilet tank. And in this situation, because we have a new taller toilet, this pipe is not tall enough to reach the water connection. So what we're gonna do, we'll run to the store real quick. They make flex hoses that'll go there. That's what normally is installed nowadays. And so we'll grab a new one and we'll get that connected, and then the toilet will be put the seat on and we're ready to go. All right, so surprisingly, my dad surprised me and had one. We lost Dad back in May, and never ceases to amaze me the stuff he has in the garage, and he had one just sitting in the drawer. So what you want is a flex hose for a toilet. And so what this allows us, this will go here and then plug in the top. And so this is what normally is on the newer houses, but you never know. It's not 1/2 inch. It's a bigger one. All right, guys, so nothing like 2 trips to Home Depot to get parts and when you buy the wrong part, it just frustrates you. So originally we tried the valve the hose that Dad had here, and that was a 3/8 hose. That's a 1/2 inch connection. So we weren't paying attention to the connection. So we went to Home Depot and we got this one. So this is a 1/2 inch compression to valve. So that's the compression fitting here. So 1/2 inch nut, and it was a compression fitting. We ran up to Home Depot real quick, grabbed it, and came back home thinking we were ready to rock and roll. Then we got in here and we looked at the valve, and I was like, it is a flare fitting. So we had to run back to Home Depot, and I ran back to Home Depot, and we got a flare fitting. So now we have all the fittings. So lesson, guys, just pay attention. Look at what your valve is, double check the dimensions, and then look at the fitting. A compression fitting is going to have the little, the flare fitting is going to have the little dome on the valve, and so that's why you can kind of see how that's done on the inside. And then the compression fitting will just have an opening in the valve to where the compression O-ring in there will go in there, and then when you tighten it down, it just seals it off. So just pay attention to your connections. Let's finish this one up. All right, so we're gonna take our flare fitting here. It's a 1/2 inch flare fitting going on the valve. So this will go here, and then this will screw into the bottom. It's at a bad angle. There we go. Okay. So be careful when we're tightening this down. You don't want to break your valve off the wall or anything like that. You'll have a big mess. You'll be shutting off the main water and everything else. Good there. Then we'll kind of sneak this up here. Should be able to just tighten it by hand. It's just a plastic fitting. All right, there you go. All right, so now we're ready to put the seat on. So this one had a couple of little rubber gasket, almost type little rubber O-rings, or whatever you want to call them, like a gasket is what it is. So those just snapped on the bottom, and then we'll put this down like this. So we have a screw and a washer. We'll go in there. So on the bottom you'll have the plastic nut, the plastic washer, and then the rubber O-ring or rubber gasket. Make sure it's situated. Oh yeah, shiny. Oh look, the no slam lid. Oh, nice. Now we're ready to turn the water on. See how it turns out, see if it works. One more thing we forgot, guys. So down there you can see our screw and our bolt here. They make these little caps, they come with it, and they just snap on. There you go. Let's turn the water on. Let's wipe up. So make sure your area is clean before you turn Make sure your area is clean before you turn the water on. That way you can see if you have any leaks. Let's try it out. Boom. Clean, shiny. Hey, thanks for coming along with the ride on this one. The toilet is installed, everything's done. It looks good, it's working good, it's quiet. We got the no slam lid on there, just goes down nice and quiet. So this is a big upgrade from what we had before in this bathroom. So hey guys, thanks for coming along. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, subscribe, and check out the other videos on our channels. We'll catch you on the next project. Thanks guys.